Welcome back. For the record, this is our second show. Last week was like a torrential rain that flooded our whole area. This week we had snow. If this isn't accountability to this, I don't know what it is.
And consistency. Let me tell you something, because my sisters could understand where I'm coming from. When you have a leave out, y'all know what I'm talking about. And when it's that rain, when that rain hit that natural, so she talking about consistency and all of that. How about dedication and loyalty? If this ain't loyalty, y'all, I don't know what it is.
Anyway, so it's our second episode. We're still freestyling because we're not coming in with subjects. So I need my TikTok people to give us subjects that we can talk on.
Yeah, she need a couple of topics.
I need a couple of topics.
She'll remember them, and then 2 minutes later,
yeah, I went in a car, and in a 5-minute ride, I forgot, and that's sad. They say that's called menopause brain, and I don't know if anyone can relate to that. I don't know, but literally, I had a topic. I said, "Oh yeah, this is good." 5 minutes, got here, over.
But my thing is, it's not even, you can't even call it menopause brain. How about overloaded brain?
That might be it.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine you having to do this, doing that. Let me tell you something. She laughs at me all the time, but sis carry around a notebook and a pen. Because listen, the first thing about having a problem is admitting you have one. So I admit my memory is shot. So between me and my 3, I don't remember. I don't even know what day it is or the date sometimes. And you know what? That's quite all right, because I get through it.
We do get through it. I definitely think it's brain overload.
Absolutely.
I read somewhere that you should have daily brain dumps. If that even.
What is that? What is a brain dump?
It said, like, take a piece of paper. Oh, I talk with my hand. Take a piece of paper and put everything down that's in your head on a piece of paper. And it like makes room in your brain for more stuff. I think Mel Robbins talks about it, but it's called brain dump. So you just take everything that you're thinking, put it on this paper, and then if it's like things that you got to do and stuff, you could tackle it by the way of importance, and you just keep taking what's in your brain and putting it on paper, because your brain has like a maximum capacity to. And owning my own business ain't for the weak.
Let me tell you something. You still want to write stuff down that's on your brain, and so you can write this down. What if it ain't legal? I ain't like putting another lesson.
Don't let anybody see it.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. That's not for everybody. That might be for you, but I'm just set it up here.
My stuff is legal.
Whatever. Look,
I try to make sure my stuff is.
Me too, but I'm just saying, what if? There's always what ifs in life.
Yeah, there are, but I try and keep my stuff pretty legal.
You are legal.
I am.
Whatever. Anyway, on another thing, y'all ever had a friend? Let me tell you something that you just want to fight. How you say simultaneously? How you say it? Simultaneously. Whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, that just drives you insane. But every 5 minutes she wants to bother you. You know, help me out. Y'all pray for me. She talking about she's consistent and dedicated. What about me? I'm right here too. It don't matter that I live up the street. Look, I got things to do.
She bought me my new shirt today from Rainbow.
Because you know what? Sherry is killing. But, you know, I was listening to something that was like so important, like so vital. Like, you know, you ever read something, like you're just scrolling and then you read something and it just hits you. And it was saying like, you know, for you complain about your home, but for the homeless, it's everything. You complain about shoes, but for someone who can't walk, it's everything. And I feel like something that we should touch on, and we always talk about, perspective. Sometimes things don't change, situations don't change, but your perspective changes, which changes everything. What you think about that?
I agree with that, because I think perspective is everything. I think if you wake up and think like, I gotta go to work, and oh, it's raining, or oh, it's snowing,
right?
Oh, it's this, and like, let's be honest, we're humans. We all get caught up in that.
We all complain about something.
Caught up in the whole complaining thing. but it's something that I'm trying really hard to be vigilant and not complaining about everything. And perspective is everything. Even like gratitude. I think gratitude right now is used as a catchy phrase, and everyone talks about like gratitude, pay it forward, this and that. But what does that really mean? Like, what does gratitude really mean?
Yeah.
Are you grateful for like the things that you have, or because you want things, or you think being grateful is going to get you more
on the right thing to
do? Or the right thing to do? Like, what is like your what do you feel gratitude for? Like, I genuinely try to wake up every morning, and the first thing I do is I thank God that I got blessed another day, because I'm winning with surviving my relatives, because I have lost really young people in my life, and I'm winning. So every day I wake up and I'm grateful that I just got a whole nother 24 hours. But I also make time to realize that I am sitting in answered prayer.
Yes, that's key.
Sometimes once those prayers are answered and you sit in them, you forget they were answered prayers.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I think as human beings, sometimes we get caught up in like
what we don't have.
Right, what we don't have, and also too,
or what's not working.
Or we also always want more.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to reach out and be like, I want this, I want that, or I don't have this or that yet. But you neglect the fact that where you are, if you really sit and self-reflect, you are literally sitting in one of your blessings.
Yeah.
Or
I answered prayer.
Exactly. And I feel like we cannot lose sight of that whatsoever, because, you know, to me, gratitude is everything. I'm one of the most grateful people. I will sit there and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And because I don't really just say thank you because of the action, but I say thank you because of the fact that it's the thought along with the action. Because people could sit there and say, oh, I'll do this for you, and they'll actually do it. But where does their heart lie? Because there's people that'll do things for you
and want something in return.
Or throw it in your face any opportunity that they can. And I'm like, when I'm grateful for something, I have to show appreciation, because I always say anything that you don't appreciate will eventually depreciate. Anything, a person, relationship, your car. If you don't maintenance your car, eventually that engine is going to blow, or you're going to have some problems. And I feel like whatever and wherever your heart lies, it should be a connection to what you put into it, regardless. It could be people, things, whatever. But I am a big person on having a perspective on certain things, because as you always say, an overly emotional person, I have to sit down and like literally process stuff, because if I don't, my emotions will take over, and then I'll literally build scenarios in my head and run with it. And then I have to stop myself and be like, you know what, Tyra? Look at it this way. Look at it that way. And then it'll make you feel better. And on top of that, you get another view and, outlook on certain things. You know what I mean? And perspective is everything. Some situations don't change. Like, I'm dealing with a situation, as you know, right now. My son is battling muscular dystrophy, and some days aren't as good as others. And I could get caught up, and I do. Sometimes I get caught up in the mix, why is this happening to him? He's going to be 13. He goes through so much. But I had to change my outlook on it. And I still have to remind myself consistently, because that is hard. And I'm like, you know what? This is making him such a compassionate person. It's making him a caring person, a patient person, and it's building inner strength in him. Is the situation changing? At the moment, it is not. Not saying that it wouldn't, but at the moment, I have to hold on to different things to keep not just me, but the both of us going. And if I don't change my perspective, I could physically get myself sick, mentally get myself sick. And then what,
No, for sure. Perspective is everything. It's also, I think as you get older, you start, clearly you look at things different. I mean, hopefully, because sometimes people don't.
Right.
But then it's like, is it too late to change? Like, do you ever think it's too late to start over? You know, like, is it too late to, I think like we get so caught up with having timelines in our life.
Yeah.
And we start thinking like, is it too late for me to start over? Or I'm already this age, or I'm already this, or I already did this, or I'm already established.
Right.
When, like, again, with perspective, like, is it like, what is your perspective on starting over? Because that's probably a big thing for me. Because I am now getting to probably not the end of my business journey, but I think I'm coming to where there's got to be a next step.
Right. Like, what's the plan?
Like, what's the plan? Like, where am I going after this? And I used to limit myself with thinking like, well, I'm too old to do this, or why would I do this? Or like, where am I going with this? And after doing this, do I really want to do this? But is it too late? Or is that just my perspective? Like, was that just a perspective or a narrative I was running with? Like, I don't think, like, now as I try and look at things, like, no. Do I think it's too late? No. Do I think it's too late to get better? No. Do I think it's too late to change how I'm used to doing things? No. But I think I had to,
you had to come to that.
I had to come to that. And I think I still struggle with that, because
we all do.
I think I'm a creature of habit, and like, I love consistency because it just makes sense for me. I think that also comes from experiences in my life that came out of nowhere and changed a whole dynamic. And it's happened to me more than once, which is why I think I cling to consistency. I'm not a fan of change, but like, life has come in and changed whether I wanted it or not.
Oh, who are you?
And I think that's why I always stuck to, well, this is what I've been doing for this long, and I know like I'm good at this, and this has helped me up until this point. But like, is it ever too late? Like, is it too late at 50 or 60 or 70? I see some people that are like 65, 70 years old, starting like this weightlifting thing and are killing it
And living their best life.
and living their best life.
And I think,
why do we limit ourselves, and where does that come from?
I think people usually, people who have routine, it's consistency for them, but I think it's something bigger. It's like a form of control.
It's a form of control.
And
For sure.
fear of change. That's where it comes from. So if you have a routine, it's like, okay, I know I'm going to be doing this. I know I'm going to be doing that. So you have like some sort of control over your life, over your day. And then when the change comes, it's such an abruption because of the fact that you're not comfortable with it, because it's getting you out of your ordinary.
And out of your comfort.
And I think with social media, I think it heightened somewhat in regards to having timelines. You know, everything, I'm learning more and more, everything that looks good is not a good look.
Yeah.
See, everybody want to show their success, they're winning, they're this, they're that on social media. And it's like, if you don't have that, it's like you're losing or you're not winning per se. You know what I'm saying? And I even was a victim of that because of the fact that what's going on now in my life, I decided I had to stop working. I had to be a mother first. So I had to literally speak to myself, because I'm like, oh, I'm not working right now. I feel such a loser. I don't know what my plan is in life. But the whole time, change of perspective, I'm winning. You know why? I'm able to pick up my kids from school. I'm able to be there for them. I'm able to, whatever, if you need something, anyone, I'm available. And I feel like having a bunch of money in the bank is amazing. You know what I'm saying? But what is the real value? Being present. And that's the thing. We could chase so many different things, but you could be so caught up with chasing things, and not saying that there's something wrong with that, because you're supposed to chase your dreams. You're supposed to chase for better. You know, who doesn't want that? But I'm saying, don't get caught up in feeling like, okay, well, I'm this old, I don't need to do this. Let me tell you something. First of all, you can see, just like I do, does she look like she's about to be 50? Don't matter. It's still there. It still matter. That's on paper. It's still irrelevant. That's on paper. But what I'm trying to say is, I feel, and I have to talk to myself, and I talk to you about it all the time. What is the definition of winning to you? everyone has a different definition of winning. Some people winning like, I have all of these possessions. Some people feel winning, or I have all of this money. Some people feel like they're winning, I have all of, this support, all of these good people. It's perspective. And I feel like everyone has a different definition of winning. But I'm learning, because everything starts with you. I always say that. I'm learning, whatever you feel where you're winning and you see the fruit of it, be happy with that. Don't get caught up in the hype or what this person is doing or what that person has, because all you will do is put yourself on like a hamster wheel to keep trying to strive, and you lose sight of it, and it's like you lose the whole purpose of everything.
Which again, I think goes back to perspective. Perspective, like how you look at other people's lives is your perspective of their life.
And it's only a snippet, like you said.
And it's a snippet. And I think if we take the perspective and put it back on ourselves and actually study ourselves and actually try and understand why we do or say and act the way that we do, I think we could probably get more answers. But we kind of like to think other people are supposed to give us the answers of why we feel the way we do.
Absolutely.
Or it's much easier to put it on somebody else. And I've been victim of that so many times. It's just I kind of like flipped it, where I'm always like, what is this trying to teach me? Or like, why is this happening? Like, why is this person showing up like this in my life? Or why is this back in my life? And I kind of always bring it back to me. And again, I think that's where I'm learning. And again, like, it took me 45 years to actually realize that I might be the problem. It's like,
listen, sometimes
I might be the problem. Like, like any failures in my life, I probably was the problem. Not saying that other situations or factors didn't attribute to it, but I think where I was the problem is because you can't keep trying to do something the same way when it's not working and then just think it's going to work one day. And that's what they say, like the definition of insanity.
I was just about to say the same thing.
It took me 45 years to start changing my perspective. And is it happening overnight? Nah, this is like a 4-year journey at this point.
Yeah.
But I think changing my perspective on a lot of things has changed the trajectory of my life and which direction it's going and how it's going. And do I fall back sometimes? Hell yeah. Because it's easier to fall back to a default. Like, we all have like that default system in us that formed as a child, formed however it formed. But we all have that default system that it's our comfort zone where we fall back on, and that just feels normal for me to react this way or to act this way, and this is why I'm going to keep doing it. But that's when I check myself. And it's like I have deep conversations with myself, like, why are you acting this way? Or why are you doing that? Or why are you even giving this so much energy or so much thought or so much whatever? Like, is it really worth it? And I have these talks and I get a good conversation, but it's like the one thing then that happens, it'll trigger me and I go back to a default system. So I think what's big is what I'm trying to realize is changing my perspective on certain things is what's going to change the course of certain.
It'll change everything.
And it's like, again, are you ever too old to change your perspective? Are you ever too old to change who you are? Are you ever too old to change to become a different version of you? You know? And I used to get offended when people were like, oh, you're so different. Like, good. I hope so. Like, I hope I'm so different, because if I haven't grown, that's a problem.
Absolutely.
So when you tell me I'm so different now, I welcome that, because I would rather be different.
I welcome that.
Yeah.
I gotta pick on myself. That's just
I would rather be different now than be the same person I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. If I'm still that same person, there's a problem, because life's changed, perspectives have changed, things have changed. Like, you move on. And I think that's kind of where I'm at now. And I don't know. It's like, are we ever too old to change?
absolutely not. It's all up into the person. Like, it's up to the person. But my question for you, where do you feel that you're winning right now? what part of your life, or what is it that makes you feel like you're winning? And then what part of your life do you feel like you need to work on?
I always say I feel like I'm winning as a parent because the byproduct of what I like what I went through with raising my kids, I think I'm winning in that area because they're both genuinely good. And I say this all the time. They're good adults. They're good people. They're good adults. They're in good positions. I feel like that is an area I'm winning.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I think I'm not winning? And I need
Not so much not winning, but like you're work in progress.
business, I think I'm stable. I would love to, I think, change that up as well, like as a boss. And also I think on a personal level of how I'm used to handling situations and how I should be handling situations are still not in alignment. Like I still need to work on things that I thought were healed, but they're not.
Well, life is a journey.
And that is where I feel like I'm not winning per se. I feel like sometimes there's certain triggers in me that I don't know that I have until I'm faced with them. And then I realize like, all right, I'm not handling this really well. So I have to kind of like regroup and figure out why am I still not handling certain things a certain way. But I think that would probably be where I think I'm not winning. I definitely think my biggest win in life is my kids.
Absolutely.
And how they turned out and who they are as people and who, like, where I can actually go to sleep at night and know, like, I don't have to worry. And I mean, like, clearly you're going to always worry that your kids, but like, I know I can rest my head knowing like
You don't have certain words.
I don't have certain worries.
Shouting at my homies.
That's like a win. That's a real win because that was my biggest fear. Like, I wasn't around for work purposes a lot. There was a lot going on, and like that was my biggest thing. Like, was I like not present enough where they're gonna just go and do their own thing? But that's where I can say I'm winning in my own personal journey of healing or personal journey of becoming a better version. And then I think that's where I have like the work to do.
Yeah.
And that's where work really needs to come in. Mm-hmm. Like I was in counseling when my brother passed because grief beat my butt at that time.
Yeah.
And I think I was also grieving like my husband, my ex-husband, my kid's dad at the time, my father. Like I think I was dealing with grief all at once, in which I never dealt with. But so I went into counseling and I was doing great because
you were making progress.
I was making great progress because I was really working on me. I didn't really have like outside like triggers. But then it's like this last year kind of I was faced with a lot of triggers and I wasn't in counseling for a while. And I think that's when I realized like, all right, this is clearly a new venture, a new version that needs to come out, and I need to work on this person. So I think I'm winning because I realize that, and I'm not just going to be like, well, that's just how I am. Because people love using that.
Yeah, fall victim to that.
Like, well, that's just how I am.
You know, that's like, stay like that, but stay over there.
Yeah, like, that's just, I don't like that. I don't want to use that. Like, I don't want to use that as much as, like, I would like to use that many times. Well, that's just how I am. I don't want to use that. So, like, that's just something I'm working on. It might be a slow process, kind of like turtle-ish.
Slow movement is better than big movement.
I think that's where I'm winning.
Yeah, slow movement,
like no movement in your life or where you're not winning.
Where do I feel like I'm winning in my life? Listen, I could be called many things. Though, let me get my bank together. I could be called many things. A great mother. Let me tell you something. No one has to tell me that because I know what I do. But I feel like I'm winning, and it might sound minute to someone else, but again, we're talking about perspective. I feel like I'm winning because I have the personality wherever I go, I could gravitate to people. Like I have that personality where even, God forgive me, in the worst situations, I could find humor in anything. And it may be something small to the other person, but for me, that's like my coping mechanism. I have to make a joke. Yeah. And I feel like having a great personality and being a person where people are ready to receive you, are always looking for you, it's like you leave an impression. So I feel like that's where I win in life. I am such a people person where I could go anywhere, I could talk to anyone, and I'm gonna make a friend. I'm gonna make a friend. Let me tell you something, and they're gonna remember me. And it's crazy because of the fact that you don't realize the effect that you have on people until they do. Like, where have you been? I'm telling you, I could be at ShopRite, the nail place, the post office,
Delivering pizza.
Listen, I got new friends on my route, but that's another story. But I feel like that's where I win because no matter what, you know, you could make someone else's day, but little do people know me being who I am and joking and making someone else laugh. That's healing me in the process. Where I feel that there's room for improvement is, and it's something that's hard, is, I don't know, like I would say accept or be able to cope better with what I deal with Justin. Because I noticed, like, I could deal with a lot of things. I could let a lot of things roll off. But when he's not feeling well or he's not having a bad day, that's like my kryptonite. It, like, paralyzes me.
I think
and it makes me question.
I think that's that every guilt that comes in.
Yeah.
Most moms have that mom guilt.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, you know, for what you have to deal with, you're doing a phenomenal job. But I also think you beat yourself up.
Oh, definitely.
And I also think sometimes, like, you think like you deserve, like
a punishment.
Yeah, like you don't feel like you deserve good things, but you feel you deserve punishment. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like
it is true.
I don't feel certain things were given to you as a punishment. I just think certain good things were given to you because you can handle it, and you're gonna make a difference in that little boy's life, in which he's gonna be a man one day.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think that's why I don't think that was a punishment. I just think you were given that.
Yeah, I just feel like with that, it was just so many different questions. You know what I mean? Because he's my middle son. You know, having one son, you know, physically able and all of this, and, you know, having 3 kids, same father, didn't use drugs, and then your middle child has muscular dystrophy. So it's like all of those questions, like what happened, or what did I do, or what I didn't do,
why this, yeah,
right. But someone told me, she said to me, and it gave me like so much peace. She said, there was nothing that you did or didn't do that would have changed the outcome of your son. It was one of those things that was meant to happen. And that gave me a lot of understanding because of the fact that if I didn't go through the things that I'll go through, and not just only, you know, with Justin, just being a mom, losing my mom, you know, going through so many different health issues. If I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't have the character. I wouldn't have the patience, the compassion. I wouldn't be able to encourage somebody else in the midst of my storm. So even though you go through hell, it's like, as long as it's a blessing and you use it as a benefit to help someone else's life, then it's all worth it.
Or,
you know, I always say,
I think we all have that, like as a mom, when something happens to your kids, or your kids are going through certain situations that you know, were a part of,
and you didn't have control.
You didn't have control.
You can't buy it or fix it.
Of course, it hits in a way that you're just like, wow.
Yeah, it's like a punch in the gut.
It's a punch in the gut.
It's a punch in the
gut. But when you see the outcome of when they're adults and how they become as adults, like, I think that's a byproduct of what they went through.
Absolutely. And I feel like he's going to get, you know, his own rhythm eventually. because right now it's like baby steps. Everything is new to him.
Right.
And it's like you said, when you see the outcome of your children, it's nothing more rewarding. You know, my oldest is about to be 16 and, you know, he started working at a particular place here and there. And it's just like to see your kid grow and to become their own person. You know what I'm saying? That's the most rewarding thing. But the thing is, what I'm learning now is as your kids grow and, you know, they form their own lives, look at my face. Mama gotta have a life. Shit.
And then again,
Mama gotta have
ever too late to start a life.
Let me tell you something. Absolutely not. And it's amazing because of the fact that because I have all boys and they're like the little brothers I never had. And then now I'm still young because I'm not even 40 yet and they're growing up and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, it's a good time. It's fun. Like I can relate to them with certain things, just to laugh and joke. Jordan's about to be 16, so I can have like conversations with him that I can't have with the other kids. And it's so much fun. And it's like now I'm learning to get my rhythm back. And it's like, mama got to have a life too. It is okay to hang out. It is okay to have fun. It is okay to let your hair down. Just because you're a mother doesn't mean you don't have a life. You are a woman before you were a mother. And that's something that
That goes back to perspective. Like your perspective on that.
right. And it's like, it's
You lose sight sometimes of that perspective.
you lose sight of yourself because you're so needed in so many different areas or so many different people that it's like me. Who got time for that? Sis making time. Let me tell you something. Sis making time. Sis about to get a passport. You about to be international. I'm that friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm that friend that, you know, she's the calm, you know, sophisticated. I'm the loud, Tyra, shut up friend. But we have a good time. A time to had. You hear me? Yin and yang.
But yeah, definitely perspective. I definitely think perspective is the key to life, a key to change. Because you can't change if you don't change your perspective on certain things. And if you don't have like a positive perspective, you're going to look through clouded eyes.
Yeah, everything will be a negative lens. And then whatever you think, I always say that whatever you think, you feel, and whatever you feel, you behave, and whatever you behave, you become. I'm winning because I'm thinking I'm winning. I'm gonna act like I'm winning. And guess what? Sis gonna win.
Yeah,
How about you?
I agree.
Amen.
I agree.
Amen.
Like, as much as sometimes, like, you might wake up and you just get in this negative funk, but if you turn it around at some point, you'll see light into it.
Absolutely.
Like, sometimes I'm just like, you know what, thank you. For whatever this is going to show me, thank you.
Yeah, because whatever situation you go through,
Yeah.
you don't be the same after.
No, and like, whatever, and like, I just have to learn to be like, thank you. Whatever this is trying to show me and teach me, thank you. Thank you for the lesson, and I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, we keep it moving like we usually do. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to the place where I'm not going to let acid reflux, nothing going to make me have acid reflux, heartburn, sis not getting an ulcer, high blood pressure, cholesterol. Because you know what? It's all about perspective. And I'm such an emotional person, and I will internalize on top of that, that I will get my own self sick. And you will literally, if you thinking of something and harping on things, you will eventually get in. You know, I had to have surgery because I had so many, you know, core issues because of stress. First of all, I'm not doing that. I tell people all the time, the things that I go through with Justin and me losing my mom, if that didn't kill me, I'm not letting anything else do it.
It's just we have to wake up and keep perspective on what is going right.
Everything is a choice. And not saying that it's an easy choice.
If you think about it,
What?
like, even in a whole day, say like something goes wrong and then another thing goes up. Is there really like everything going wrong? No. Like, if you really had to sit back and think about like, all right, well, how many things went right? And you just flip that perspective of, all right, well, yeah, this went wrong, this went wrong. All right, how many things went right today?
But not even that, Connie. What we always do, because we will sit there and text each other, but like, please tell me why A, B, and C. But guess what we're going to do right after? We're going to laugh. We're going to figure it out. But while we're figuring it out, we're going to laugh about it. Because you know what? That's what we got to do.
That's right. Film. Again, my TikTok followers. I need comments, and not those comments. I need comments about what you want to see.
Yeah, what topic should we talk
What
about?
topics? You guys push me to do this podcast. I'm coming out in rain. I'm coming out in snow. So I need comments. I need comments of what you want me to talk about, because I know you love when I be talking shit. I know it. I can see it. I see in my views. I talk shit. You guys give me 1,000 views.
Exactly. And then she going to have to drag
But when I'm
me down.
serious, you don't give me nothing.
Right. And then she dragged me out in all type of weather, compromising my leave out that I just got done last week. But that's another story.
We need topics. So you got to wait to give me topics. So next Tuesday, I'll be back, record another one. We got a topic that you requested.
And I'm saying,
And I'm going to even shout out whoever gave me the topic.
that is so beautiful. You know what? One of these episodes, you know, I have to make myself at home. Sis might come up in here with a bonnet. Faith's going to be people. I'm going to come in here with my bonnet helping people. Because, you know, to thine own self be true.
Sometimes she has two on.
Depending on the situation.
Well, we had a good episode. Pretty good. I think perspective was a good one. Shout out to Joe. Jersey Media. I was going to call you by your Instagram name. And JoJo for taking their time out for us. And we'll be back.